Everybody ready? Not practicing: Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Jason Pierre-Paul. Everybody else had a good day's work, and like where we're at so far this week. I thought excellent speed to that practice and intensity.
So something a lot of teams will fall into is coming off a bye week, they'll look sluggish, or maybe they look out of sync. That didn't seem to be a problem for you guys last year. What is key for that?
I think some of it's rest. Taking a good time off, getting mentally fresh and physically fresh, and our guys know how to work. I never have to ask them to work. Now we can work smarter, but to work hard, we've always worked hard. His foot.
Is that significant? Is that something you're worried about for Sunday?
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
To see progress from Murphy Bunting and from Scotty, how are they moving along in terms of the potential for them to play Sunday?
Running around's fine. Playing football is a different thing. I got to go watch the tape on Sean. He wouldn't use his arm Monday, and we'll see how he did today. But there's really no rush to get him back out in the field, and just make sure they're practicing and ready to go when we put him out there. Scotty ran around good, and so that's looks good for him too.
The soreness would also be something that would kind of be key to when they come back. How are they doing in that department?
I was worried about Scotty on the turf the other day, but we limited him. But on the grass, he looked fine, and both of them looked fine.
In terms of receiver depth, to bring back Rashad Perriman, just want to see what he brings and how quickly he can get back on.
Yeah, he brings a lot. I mean, he's a big guy that's run, take top off, just like he did when he was here a couple of years ago, and it's something that we're very familiar with. He's familiar with us, so it's great insurance, and if we need him, he could actually play this week if we had to have him.
And Fells?
Same veteran guy that I've been very, very aware of and known for a long time, and he's a big target, a lot like Gronk, just a big guy that blocks and can catch.
How much of it is that they already know the system? It seems like you like to bring in guys that are familiar, whether it be in Arizona or what you're running now.
Yeah, I mean, that helps. Well, I mean, they've been in other systems for a while, but the verbiage isn't totally foreign to them. They can come in, they can pick it up quick. We had Darren for 4 years in Arizona, and obviously BP. So, yeah, that is a huge advantage to them. And when we see guys that we know and we know what they are, we know how to plug them in.
First of all, when you guys got Darren in Arizona, I think he had been with one of the teams first, but hadn't done anything in the NFL. How wild is it to see him still going at 35?
It's crazy because, he was a basketball player, but he wasn't afraid to put his face in the fan. And most basketball players, they don't like it in there where it's grimy, and they like to be out in space. But he saw a future and worked his tail off and made some big catches for us too.
I know that you guys are self-scouting every week, so that there's not as much need to do that during the bye, but was there anything like procedurally that you've gone back and maybe changed as far as like how you're approaching getting ready for games week to week? Is there anything you're doing differently in that aspect?
No, when going back and looking at everything, I think we changed so much from what we did from COVID last year that the way we travel and do things. So we're, for us right now, it's just penalties and turnovers.
Your older guys, Gronk and AB, how concerned are you that these injuries could linger if you're not getting anything?
We got a long way to go. So if they linger 3 more weeks, we've got 5 more games with them, or 6. So it's a long way yet. So I'm not that concerned. I like where we're at with Darren and BP, guys like that coming in, giving us good insurance.
Looking at the penalties year over year, it seems like, and this is, again, just from my tracking, it seems like there's more DPI this year versus last year. Is that just because you're having new guys? You haven't had as much consistency on that back end?
Yeah, that so much of it was early in the year with bad technique, and then, with newer guys, it's difficult.
Those injuries are part of the game no matter how old you are, right? But when you bring back 22 starters, a lot of those guys are in their 30s, Jason Brown, Gronkowski. Was there always going to be a more heightened opportunity for those guys to maybe not play?
Yeah, 17 games especially. Gronk's first time ever last year was what he played every game. So, that's why you build a roster. That's why you make the moves we made now to ensure hopefully more than 9 games, more like 12. And we have that depth to fill pieces in.
Because I don't think we'd ask you about Sherman and Delaney, just how they're coming along.
Both full speed. Both full speed.
We can ask you if you're in the Odell Beckham Jr. sweepstakes. Are you part of that?
No. No. Too many letters. I already got AB. I don't need OBJ.
With those two guys, Gronk and AB, and you know the experience they bring, postseason experience, you saw how big they were for you last year. Does that, the fact that you were able to get some new pieces that are veterans in here, does that kind of give you a little more, okay, we can be a little more patient with these guys? I know they're chomping at the bit to get
Well,
out
yeah,
there.
I mean, when they're ready, they're ready, you know, and right now it's just a matter of let's win this week. Put the best team we can out there this week, and as they come back, if they come back, when they come back, we'll keep adding pieces to it. And so, yeah, for this week, it's just let's get the best 47 or 48 we can play with this week.
Hey Bruce, I'm Caitlin, work for the Vector. Nice to see you. I'm working on a story about coaches that are related to other current or former NFL coaches in the NFL. It's a big part of NFL hiring, and the coaching diversion and inclusion report mentioned it last January. I know that you've built a reputation of building diverse coaching staff, so I'm curious if you've ever considered that or noticed it around the league, and if you think, is it something we should be thinking about critically? Is it a problem, or how do you sort of view that when it comes to coach hiring in the league?
Inclusivity?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's very, very important. I think you have to have a very diverse staff, ethnic, age, all those things. More voices from different areas, the better. The more voices players can hear, the better it is for them. As far as female coaches, African American coaches, 83-year-old coaches, 22-year-old coaches, whatever it is.
How important is it for you as a coach? Because you want to bring in people that you trust, but it's also some coaches get in the habit of just hiring people in their circle, their social circle, or a friend of a friend. It seems like you have also made sure to bring in new people and people that maybe you weren't, friends with before or connected to before.
Very few. Very few. Everybody on this staff I've either coached, worked with, or was recommended by somebody I really, really trust. I think it's very important to not let the general manager hire your coaches.
A year ago in the playoffs, you beat Breeze, you beat Hall of Fame guys, right? Rodgers, and eventually Mahomes. The guy that gave you the most trouble was
Yeah, the unknown.
How do you explain what he's able to do?
Yeah, I think when you have the unknown, especially in a game like that, being the first playoff game for us in a long time, and the energy level, and not knowing how fast he was, and now this guy can really go. If you open up the middle of that pocket, he's going to take off. And so, yeah, that's a whole lot different ball game when you know what you're dealing with. And he can throw that deep ball. He can throw that 7 route. So, yeah, he proved he could play. And yeah, we basically were getting ready for Alex. We knew he was going to be sitting in the middle of the pocket. So there were some certain things we were doing, and not knowing Taylor and not knowing he was going to play, it was difficult.
What makes him stand out compared to some of the other mobile quarterbacks you faced this year?
He's extremely accurate. He's real tough, but he's quick. I mean, he's really quick. When he takes off, he's quick.
Anything else?
Can I just follow up on mine really quick? I was actually trying to ask about if you've ever thought critically about the number of coaches who are either legacy hires, someone who has a dad who's a coach or an uncle or a grandson.
I think those guys who grow up in the business, they fall in love with it early, or they don't. If you work at a place where you don't have a nepotism policy, yeah, it's fun to have your son on your staff, and I would love to have my daughter on my staff. But couple places I worked, that wasn't possible.
So there's actually policies in place at some places.
Some teams have it, some don't. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Right.